Hey guys, what's up? Ryan here with BPS Customs, and today on the channel we're going to be taking a look at this beastly card. This is the ASUS Strix GTX 1080 Ti OC edition. Alright, so this is actually the last day that I have this card in my possession because I don't own it. This card belongs to a buddy of mine, Neil, who traded it to me for a couple days for a Founders Edition card so I could get some videos done on this card, use it in a build, do some reviews on it, abuse it, overclock it. I threw it in the toilet once. It's probably fine. So a big shout out to Neil. You're going to get this back tonight, and I'm not really sure if it works anymore. I guess you'll just find out. So let's just get some basics out of the way when talking about this card. Clearly, it's still based on the GP102 chip, as are all Titan X's and 1080 Ti's. It still has 11 gigs of GDDR5X, but it does come with a factory overclock. Without touching any settings, this is going to hit 1708 megahertz on the boost clock right out of the box. The cooling solution that ASUS has designed is incredibly big, incredibly heavy, incredibly impressive looking, and incredibly effective. I wasn't able to push this card past 57, 58 degrees during normal testing at 100% load. When overclocked, even though I was only able to achieve a 60 megahertz offset on the core and a 200 megahertz offset on the memory, I still wasn't able to get this card past 70 degrees. It remained incredibly cool, and the individually addressable and controllable fans on this card, which do not spin at all unless the card goes over 50 degrees Celsius, really keep the operation silent, especially when I'm comparing this to what I used to have, which are two Founders Edition cards which sound like turbines. Of course, the shroud has RGB LEDs because it is 2017. There are a bunch of them around the fans, which you don't see very much when the card is installed. There are some around the power plug area, and then the backplate lights up. This is all controllable with the ASUS ROG Strix software, and the colors I found to be pretty accurate. The shroud also does have some plugs along the back edge. There is an RGB LED header, and there are two PWM fan control plugs. This will provide you with a little extra connectivity once the card is installed if you want to hook up another RGB LED strip or any fans that you want to run and control at the same time that the card's fans are spinning. And like I said before, I wasn't able to achieve a huge overclock on this card. That could come down to some form of the silicon lottery, or maybe just the fact that this card is clocked pretty high out of the box, and as such, you don't have much headroom left. Regardless, the performance at stock clock speeds is phenomenal, especially when compared to something like a Founders Edition. But the Founders Edition cards that I have actually were able to push up plus 175 on the core and plus 400 on the memory. And as a result, a lot of the performance benchmarks that I was able to do with this card versus the Founders Edition cards when they were both overclocked actually were very comparable. The difference is this card is staying at 70 degrees versus the Founders Edition cards, which are hitting 85, 86 degrees. And the difference in noise is also very noticeable. So let's take a look at some of those performance numbers. basically, as you can see, no matter what, the 1080 Ti is a beastly card. You're not going to run into any performance issues almost no matter what model you choose. It just kind of comes down to what kind of cooling solution do you prefer. The Founders Edition cards are the baseline. They're going to be loud, they're going to be hot, but you're going to be able to tweak them a lot. Cards like the ASUS Strix 1080 Ti OC Edition come pre-overclocked. They run cool and quiet, but you can't tweak them quite as much. It would be interesting to see what would happen if we put the Strix card on water, because it's not like I think the temperatures were restricting the amount of overclocking headroom that we had here. The temperatures were low enough where I don't think they were getting in the way. At the same time, you never really know until you do it, so maybe getting it on water is the way to go. I'm not really sure, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to test it because, like I said, this card does need to go back to its owner, and that's going to happen tonight. So this is my last little bit of time with this beauty. So thanks for watching my brief review on the Strix 1080 Ti OC Edition. If you like this video, hit that little like button down there. If you really like this video, get subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, as always, and I'll see you next time.